Chucky, when's your third? Okay, so Astrid is said, when's your third album coming out?
Uh, Probably not until I actually I had a record that was ready to go, but the last minute I changed the entire format of my record,
What?
and yeah, I changed the entire format. Yeah, and now I'm recutting a whole nother record. But I'm gonna keep this one though. I'm gonna keep it. But I just got another vibe. I got a whole
Okay.
nother, and I said, you know what? This is what I need to focus on, and not focus on the old stuff. Because I did a record with just all these different genres of old school, 60s, 70s, 80s.
Okay.
Instead of doing that, I would rather just do something completely different and new. So that's what I'm focused on now to do that. I'd rather do that than the last project that I did. So I probably won't have anything, probably not until the end of the year.
Are you going to say then that this last project you did would who would it appeal to musically? Would it appeal to us who've grown up with it?
Well, it more or less catered to the older 35, 40 and older.
We're not going to hear that then. You've
No.
shelved that.
Not right now, you won't. Not right.
Can you still hit the high notes, Colin Axe?
Oh yeah. I won't try to hit it now, but I can definitely.
Okay. Chimpy Jack.
Yeah, I can still hit it.
Chimpy says, what was your favorite song to play when you were touring with Lionel Richie? This was last tour with Lionel. What was your
My
favorite?
favorite song, hands down, to play when we're on tour is Zoom. That's my song.
Wow.
I light up every time when he feels like he wants to do it. Then when we actually do the song, that's my favorite song to play.
Yeah, I do wonder because I know Big Bob did his version of it. Yeah. But does Lionel? Somebody asked, does Lionel get on the keys when he's doing a tour? Does he do the commoners, easy light? Does he play?
Yes, he gets on the piano and he plays.
Have you seen the Netflix documentary, The Greatest Night in Pop?
I have.
Because I seen a side to Lionel that I didn't even know in that. I was just blown away. I didn't know he could all them stars in one room, and he could just handle it. I was just completely mesmerized by that.
Yeah, that dude. I always tell Lionel that at the end of the day, or if you decide to move on with your career, I said, dude, you could be a diplomat, or you could be a governor, a president.
Wow.
He is that captivating to me. I'm just saying, and I've met a lot of people in my life, in my career, in front of the scenes and behind the scenes. I've worked with everybody. I've met all the stars that you can imagine from when I used to live with my godfather, all the people that used to come by the studio. Come by his house, as a kid. That's why I'm never starstruck. I've never, ever, because I've met all these people, in their natural environment. So it's never an issue for me. I've only, like I said, I've only fanned out twice, in my entire 42 years of being in this business. So
Was that Vanity and David Foster?
Vanity. Well, no, that was just outright love. I fanned out when I first met Stevie and when I met David Foster.
Wow.
But not in a crazy,
Yeah.
My hands were cold. I was like shaking hands. Yeah.
And I know the answer to this, but Jeremy is asking about who your favorite producers are, and I know you'd probably have David Foster up there. Who else would make those lists?
Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
I mean, yeah, we've done a countdown. They're awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a few, but Barry White, of course.
Yeah, his Godfather.
My Godfather, Maurice White.
Oh, Maurice. Oh, yeah, F1 and Fire. Yeah.
Maurice. Prince.
Yeah.
Oh boy, there's just so many, man. It's hard to, it's so hard to really pinpoint them out. But yeah, there's a lot. But those I would have to say are my notables that stood out, that really defined me as a musician and as a producer.
One thing I've seen some old clips of Barry White talking about the need to change and adapt around the music industry, and I'm thinking he was saying this in the '70s about this this big studios, we're not going to use that, and we're going to use computers. You're going to have. I'm thinking, man, this guy.
Like I said,
yeah.
Like I said earlier, I've been around my Godfather since I was 9 years old. And there's things that he's told me back then that he told me was going to happen. And everything he's told me has come to pass.
Wow.
That's why when I think about it, I have a notebook full of just notes of everything there. And I wish I would have written down everything he said. I remember it, but a lot of the things that he told me, he was just way ahead of his time. And he's always been like that. He has always been like that. He would always pinpoint things. He told me way back in 1990, I'll never forget this. He said, Chuckii, he's called me Chuckii. He said, Chuckii, just so you know, there's going to be a black president. So back, and it's like, man, this, but like, come on, BW, you tripping, man. Come on, man. But he called it. He said, there's going to be a black president probably in another 20 years or so. He said, but it ain't what you're going to think. It's not going to be what you think it is. He said, it's going to be, he would say stuff like, it's going to be the black face of the New World Order, things like crazy, but back then people would say, man, this dude is crazy, but.
Yeah, but especially.
That's just one little thing.
Yeah, but especially a lot of what he talks about the change in the music industry, about how the industry is changing, how you need to understand the business.
He was way ahead of his time. He was the one who told me to get off the bass because I wanted to be a bass player.
Oh.
He would say, Chuckii, get off that bass, get on them keys. That's what you need to do. He said the keys. This was before computers, before all the drum machines, before all of that. He said, start focusing on those keyboards. He said, because the keyboards are going to replicate everything. He said, everything, Chuckii. And when I say everything, I mean everything. And this was like maybe 6 or 7 years before.
That's incredible.
How
you knew that. How that's incredible.
You need to watch some of his clips, the interviews, and you see him saying these things from the '70s, and you're like, wait a minute, this is stuff, no one is talking about.
He already knew. He had that. See, he had that Virgo rising, and that I forgot the word, but it's just like an intuition, like a forward process to where he already seen it in his head. So, and he had no filter either. If you really know him and you sit down with him, he will tell you he'll tell you exactly what it is, and all of his different philosophies and things that he spoke about, I adapted at a very early age. I really did. And it really helped me to define the way I need to move in this business. Because if I didn't, I just would have been your average person, probably been long forgotten, But the things that he taught me, it made me move a certain way. And I'm thankful for that. He still lives in me, his spirit he still lives in me. But man, I miss that dude so much, man. You have no idea.
Were you ever going to do any musical tribute to him? Just
Oh yeah, I am, and in fact, that was one of the things I wasn't gonna tell you, but I am going to do a little tribute in this show. I'm going to do a little snippet for him.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think that there's so much that we, unfortunately, during the times when he was, we didn't have the outlets where, like the podcast, where we can get to ask these questions, and we didn't get to really understand and celebrate him because, for me, he always looked like he was an older guy because he was big and,
of course, yeah.
And yeah, so I used to think like, oh yeah, he's kind of Lou Rawls kind of generation.
Right, exactly. No, he was so much more, man. He's so much more. And to sit with him in the studio as a kid, I just took all that in, man, and just said, okay, I got it. You know, I totally got where he was coming from,
Yeah.
and was so much larger and bigger in life. And if his complexion would have been maybe 5 shades lighter, he would probably be even as big as some of the other artists around, you know, at that time.
Barry was big in the 80s, especially. Barry White was huge.
Yeah, he was huge.
He was huge.
70s, yeah, 70s, 80s, he was huge.
Yeah.
I got a front row seat of that. I had firsthand experience in that.
I mean, he came to my attention more when he did Secret Gardens, because that was like my generation of music and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And
Which is cool. But again, to actually see him in the studio with a 60-piece orchestra.
60-piece orchestra. I mean, that doesn't seem unheard of, you know.
You guys play this part. Da 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 da. You guys do this. Horns, you do this. Woodwinds, strings, violas, cellos. He broke all that stuff down, man. He was incredible. There's nobody.
Parker Jr. talk about being part of working with him and how he just had to, you know, how he got his voice, how he was able to, you know, get some production.
Yeah. And Ray is dope. Ray is woo! Ray! Woo! Ray! Yeah, Ray's dope, man.
Okay.